welcome to round one of this Pure versus Legit versus series. I won the die roll. I will be on the play. Let's see if we can keep this hand. We cannot keep this hand. Only one land, not a scry land, not a white source. I think we basically have to keep this. We have two shots at a second land or Thoughtseize, and then Sign in Blood will help us curve out from there. Or I could just go down to 5 and hope I get multiple lands. Jeez, it's a tough one. I think I have to go down to 5. I don't want to take a risk on one land. This is better. We have some interaction. We have still 2 shots to draw land, but if we don't draw land, we have again we have something. And then if we do draw one land, we have basically we have a lot of aggressive stuff online. So we're actually in a really good shape right now. We're gonna Bile Blight that air. Because now if we draw a white source, we can cast Burmaz, and if we draw a black source, we can't cast Murderous Cut, but alright. Cast Burmaz next turn. If it dies, we can cast Murderous Cut or the other Burmaz. Interesting. So no other 3-drop. Which means we're looking at something like... It might be a Boonsatyr, or we might be facing like a Stormbreath Dragon. That's a Stormbreath Dragon. There's no point in blocking the air. Drew the Downfall, okay. That's good. So now we get to start to take over with Burmaz. Just gain value. Okay. Josh plays a Temple. Pretty sure there are no raid triggers in his deck, so we will respond to the air trigger by downfalling the dragon, which will cause the trigger to fizzle. I'll take 2. Looks like there's a Crater's Claws going somewhere. At Burmaz. Alright. So we draw another land, which lets me play Seeker and Murderous Cut in the same turn. Which I will do. And I think I'm in really good shape. Don't know about the spells that Josh is holding, but both of my spells are quite good. Fanatic, sure. Yeah, whatever, I'll pay the tribute. I'm probably killing it anyways. And then I have to decide if I want to block this air. But I don't think I do. Okay, decision's out of my hands. No reason to fire off the Thoughtseize here, so I'll just cast the Brimaz. Attack with a cat. Opponent blocks with the Mystic. Interesting. No blocks. That would be really good if I had another land. I think I have to start blocking now. If Josh had kept the forest in his hand before attacking... Oh, am I just dead? Okay. Not quite just dead, but... If Josh had kept the forest in his hand before attacking last turn... I would have been forced to block because of the threat of Boon Satyr. But that's not... He didn't. Okay, we're just dead. So it was pretty close. Mulling to 5, like, kind of hurt us as far as our ability to curve into Wingmate Rock. But other than that, it was a pretty solid game. I'll go ahead and scoop. For the most part, our spells lined up relatively well, except for the Stormbreath Dragon at the end. Brimaz also didn't perform quite as well as probably would have, as I would have liked, but he was still quite solid. What do I want? Definitely want the Murderous Cut. Another way to interact with Dragon. I don't want... Let's see, what don't I want? I don't want Read the Bones. No white permanents and no real enchantments that I care about, so those are all out. Liliana's too slow. If we're in a racing situation, which we might end up being, and Johnny is actually very good. Because he can grow my team or just give me some more ways to, like, a way to gain life and block. So he seems pretty reliable. Elspeth gives me, because Josh is trying to turn on Ferocious and doesn't have a ton of evasion, Elspeth gives me a way to, like, blow up his big guys, which might be relevant. Drown in Sorrow might also be relevant, but I'm not entirely sure. I think I want to see what the cuts are first. Thoughtseize is good because we want to break up his curve and hit Rabblemaster and such. I'm not a fan of Sign in Blood in this matchup. Because our cards are already, like, slightly higher impact than his in the late game. We just need to get there. So 3 slots. I don't think I want Drown in Sorrow. I think I just want an Ajani and 2 Elsbeths. But we'll see how that goes. And we'll see if I want to bring in Drown in Sorrow. But I have a lot of spot removal. So I should be fine, like, with this configuration. I need ways to answer his burn as well. I will play. This is totally reasonable. Removal into Sorin. That was a fine draw. Nothing special. Wow. Okay. I'll go ahead and fire off a Thoughtseize before doing anything else. See what we're working with. 2 copies of Fated Conflagration, which is fine. Crater's Claws, which is fine. Fanatics, which are also fine. I think I want to take the Crater's Claws. Because that's the only one that can go to my face. And I have more than enough removal. Although, taking one of the Fanatics might be fine too. My plan is to let the Fanatic resolve, decline to pay tribute with the trigger on the stack, Bioblight it. And then after that, I want to untap and play Sorin and minus it. So I probably just take the second Fanatic, actually. So that Sorin is more difficult to interact with. Yeah. Yeah, that's the correct. Resolves. I would not like to pay tribute. Trigger is on the stack, we'll Bioblight it. That's like... Oh, that's a really cool line. If Fanatic ever pops up. Is that Tribute is not a triggered ability, but most of the if Tribute wasn't paid abilities are triggered. So you get you can respond to like a pump like Fanatic or even Flame Wreathed Phoenix by killing it. If you kill Flame Wreathed Phoenix with the trigger on the stack, it will not come back. It won't return to owner's hand or wherever. It'll just die. Alright, Claws to get rid of the Sorin, which is fine. I know that Josh has 2 Conflagrations and 1 Unknown. So I'm not really inclined to fire off the Thoughtseize. But at the same time, I'm not sure that there'll be a better time to, because he can cast almost every card in his deck. So we'll just fire it off now. I'll take one of the Conflagrations. No, I'll take the Air. Again, Conflagration isn't that problematic. Yeah. What's really going to kill me are the creatures, and so I just want to minimize the number of cards that I'm going to have to use removal on. The number of removal spells I have to have. We're going to pass the turn without casting, and we might rock because of the Conflagration. There we go. That's perfect. It's a great way to make it hard for Fated Conflagration to interact profitably. He's probably going to conflagrate the Sorin anyways. Oh, flashing in a Boonsatyr. Alright. So we'll see if he plays around Murderous Cut. Because if he Conflagrations targeting Vampire and then goes to attack Sorin, that'll end badly for him. So I can Murderous Cut the Satyr. And he realizes that, so he just casts Conflagration targeting the Sorin. I'm going to go ahead and cut the Satyr instead of trading. Because the way I pull ahead in this game is by getting Wingmate Rocket Friend into play. So we're going to do that. And then after that happens, I'm basically only going to cast the Downfall on like an Ash Cloud Phoenix or Stormbreath Dragon. Because everything else I just don't have to interact with, I can ignore. Like, my clock is really good here. Okay, another Conflagration. That's fine. Oh, wow, that's really good. So now I'm guaranteed a kill. Next turn. Even if he can interact with... No, never mind. If he could interact with one of the bird tokens, then I wouldn't have had a kill, but he can't. So, we're good. So that's what happens when things go right. Although, I think Josh diluted his deck a little too much. On the draw... On the draw, I think I want Drowns instead of Elspeths. Because, like, Mystic into Rabblemaster, or just Rabblemaster in general is a problem. Boon Satyr is problematic. So I'm gonna go ahead and have like a catch-up kind of card in there that can answer multiple threats. This is definitely a keep. Very good. Very good hand. And no Elvish Mystic. Josh might have taken them out against my deck. Alright, so all I'm looking for are lands. Don't need that. I have enough answers. I just need to make sure that I hit four mana on my curve for the Ajani. Oh, wow. That is really good, folks. That's amazing. Things worked out extremely well. I'll go ahead and fetch Plains at end of turn. Wow. Johnny's ultimate is really good, too. Sure. Take you up to 5. Choose 0. Pass the turn. Attacks Johnny. Yep. That's fine. We'll play around like a Rangers Guile or something. I believe that's still in the format. Okay. That's fine. Utter End lines up perfectly with that guy. I will choose no targets. Go ahead and Utter End it. Pass the turn. Okay. This is where if I don't draw a threat, Josh can start pulling ahead because, yeah, I'm flooding out, and the Scry lets him prevent himself from flooding out. I do not have to answer that card. I will answer that card, though. Go ahead and fetch another swamp. Yeah, Josh has 2 non-land cards in hand, and I have none, so... So I'm guessing Fated Conflagration, which means I'm not playing this Wingmate Rock. Alright. Cut is reasonable. Lets me alleviate any pressure that Josh decides to put on me. I'm not going to use it on the air though, if I can help it. Oh man, another Stormbreath Dragon. So, hopefully I draw something like a Drowned in Sorrow to clean this up and scry. Fix my draws a bit, but I wouldn't mind... Alright, well, Hero's Downfall is fine. It's not great, but it's better than a land. And arguably better than something like a Bile Blight. Oh, excuse me. Alright. Okay, I think I have to just jam the Wingmate Rock here, or I'm going to fall too far behind. Like, he pretty much definitely has some sort of answer, but... Okay, it's Creator's Clause, which is reasonable. That's a pretty good draw. Alright, that forces me to block. Which is pretty good. If I were Josh, I would have attacked first, though. In an attempt to trick me into not blocking. Okay, strike kills me. So that was that game. Josh's Fated Conflagration, combined with just drawing fewer lands than I did in general, was let him just pull ahead of me as far as threat density went and finish me off with burn. You know, I just flooded out for the most part, which might be an argument for keeping Sign in Blood in the main, but I'm not sure. Anyways, pretty good match, and stay tuned for the next one.